Hi guys, welcome to Investing with GYK, and today I'm gonna shit on more, shit more on NIO. Okay, so some of you may know I'm short NIO, and there was a 60-minute pump last month or something, and a couple guys were really essentially were shitting on me on the comment section, saying that how are you feeling with the burn and stuff. But I stuck to my gun. I was like, this company is pretty bad, with all the signs of issues. I mean, one thing that I was looking out for was their liquidity, but ignoring that, just paying attention to the product. I mean, one thing I do see more of the NIO cars in Shanghai than a Tesla. So yeah, they're selling, but they have quality issues, and not the kind of quality issues that doesn't really impact much. Like if your infotainment system goes down, I mean, yeah, it's a nuisance, but it's survivable. It's not non-life threatening, and you don't really care that much. You'll be annoyed, but this stuff, their cars will stop in the middle of the road. And so on their own app, something came up recently, and this is a video of on QQ video thing, and let's just go through this, and I'll translate probably fairly literally of what's going on, and since this is obviously going to be in Chinese. Now, this app, I think, is the NIO app. It's not some, it's within their own app. So this basically says, oh, my car broke down on expressway. So in China, I mean, he was pretty lucky. He's 4th of April is a traditional Chinese. I wouldn't even call it a holiday, but it's a day where you're supposed to visit your ancestor's grave. Right? And then so everybody kind of moves, so everything gets stuck, and then there's a huge amount of traffic. Nobody moves in any speed, so everything moves at like 30-40 kilometers an hour. So he was pretty lucky. But if this was an actual, like an average day where cars move at 100 kilometers an hour or more, he might be in deep trouble, because there are lots of videos online of basically trucks striking small vehicles. Like usually these small vehicles had an accident, and then they stopped in the middle of the highway, and then they don't pull over because it's some stupid stuff. Basically, they get into a quarrel in the middle of an expressway, and then basically die. But in this case, it's not his fault. His car just broke down, and he's lucky that it's not on a normal day. It's on a fairly slow moving day, so nothing was moving very fast. So let's just go through this. So that's when the car is stuck. You can see that. So he said, this fucking car, again, he's basically like, fuck this fucking car, fucking had drivetrain, the drivetrain broke down. And then the next comment was like the Chang'anjie is one of the main roads in Beijing. Is actually somewhat politically sensitive, because there was once some terrorist that mowed people down with car on that road, because that's on Tiananmen Square. That's the main road in Beijing. So he's saying, oh, the the incident of Chang'anjie happened again because there was a NIO car that got stuck, that stopped for like an hour on Chang'anjie, and then a bunch of police came over because you're not like, it's a bit like having a car stuck in front of the White House, not moving for extended period of time. It gets fairly sensitive there. And then the next comment was yesterday there was a car that broke down on the fifth ring road in Beijing. And then as the next video comes up, so that's basically showing how he's trying to move the car. He doesn't move. Yeah, so I think this, you can see the cars were not moving that fast. You can see he's trying to put it into drive from park. It doesn't move. He says fuck, this is the expressway, fuck. I mean one objection would be, okay, is this guy trying to shit on this company for whatever nefarious purposes, but I don't think that's the case. Language is extremely crude, almost my level. If you want to shit on a company, you probably want to behave a little more mature than that. Also, in China, there's no way you can short this whole thing. In China, you basically can't buy or sell anything outside China except maybe Hong Kong, and NIO is not public in Hong Kong. And here you can see something like rear electric motor system malfunction. Please stop. You have this thing here. So yeah. All right, he's playing. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, but that's not the same car though. It says this is what happened in Beijing yesterday on the north fifth ring. But that one did not the translation is, but that one did not stop there and couldn't move. So basically that car was still able to move. This one completely doesn't. So he says, oh, his car says the motor malfunction, but it can move. So he moved into the emergency lane and asked, is yours completely immobile? Said, it doesn't move. Please be safe. And then ask the official support group. So probably in WeChat, because in China almost everything goes through WeChat. It's quite crazy. And says, okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. They're sending me back. They're on the way sending me back, and then my car is running out. So to NIO's credit, their support staff is doing their job properly and got this driver off the road, and then is sending him back. He says, I almost died today. And that's his car, and it has plenty of range and in somewhere. And this is the thing, says it has the roadside assistance has arrived. Well, it says roadside assistance, and then the tow truck is arriving. The tow truck is arriving, and the car is fairly new. It's been 9 days and 634 kilometers, so basically a new car. And then people said battery swap has compatibility risks. So these are all NIO owners, I think. He says, I haven't dared to use a battery swap. I have friends that used battery swap and had issues. I think I probably should just register this app and see what the heck is going on there. But my God, he says so this one says I've never done a battery swap. I'm I'm driving the car today to have it tinted. It could either be tinting or I think it's tinting. It could also be like clear bra. I'm not sure which one's which. Says I could have used well, I don't know how to translate this. It's like I could have used someone else to like damn it, valet. I could have used valet, but I don't like other people driving my new car. And then so he said when I tried to put the car in gear in the overpass or viaduct duct or whichever way you prefer, it already had issues. So then he started saying stuff.
本来我在苏州高架上的时候就出现过这个问题，但是突然又好了。好了之后，我跟 fellow 说了。
So he said, while I was in Suzhou and I was on the viaduct, it already had issues, and then suddenly it fixed itself, and then I asked fellow. So that's some weird shit, right? Like something I really dislike about NIO or some of these things that are pretending to be cool or think they're cool. They use like English names and use these words that don't exactly mean what they mean. Like it's a bit like Tesla with their like owner advisor or something. It just makes it sound more important than they really are. They're just customer service, really, right? And then they call it the fellow. Oh my God. Anyways.
然后 fellow 叫我再继续往前开。
So the fellow told him to keep driving.
那我就开了，然后上高速之后。
So I kept driving.
又出现在高速上出现这种情况。
So when I ended up on the expressway, the same thing happened again.
突然歇菜了，无论
Suddenly it stopped.
我怎么动都不行。
Doesn't matter how doesn't matter what I did, it doesn't move.
三键启动我也重新开启。
I used the 3-button start. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's probably something specific to NIO, so I'm probably a hard reset of something.
然后出现了一个动力故障。
So after I did the 3-button restart, it showed a drivetrain malfunction.
就趴在那边动不动。
Then it stopped there and doesn't move. So then this one says, that's why I said it happened. The problem occurred again on the highway. The car doesn't move the same guy. It's the same guy. Doesn't go in gear, doesn't move. The something is flashing constantly on the screen, and I think that's what he's seeing. He said the first time, so basically he's repeating himself. The first time is on the viaduct, second time on the expressway, and stopped suddenly. Gears and power all went away suddenly. Well, not suddenly, just all went away, or is ineffective, is literally translating. So he said that's a slow version, and then he said because there are lots of cars and speeds, the flow is slow. I survived, and I was kept up all night. And he said the God didn't take me, essentially didn't die. And he said today is a holiday. Yesterday we had a lot of cars. There's a lot of traffic. Speeds were low, and that saved my life. And he said, I went to do the tinting yesterday afternoon, and when I finished with it, it was already the rush hour. And if I did it in the morning, probably I would have been done by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then there wouldn't be much traffic, and the speeds will be fast, and I could have died. And he said, that's my, like, this is, it's like, it seems to be c'est la vie, is, I think that's what he's saying. And he said, when I got stuck in a couple of point in time, and that saved me. It was horrifying on the expressway. When I was stuck, everybody was driving very slowly. I was following some other car. When I'm driving normally, the D gear's green light is lit. Suddenly it went off. The gearing stopped. The gearing is no longer functioning. The car lost power, and then I was stopped in there. And then that's that. I think he's the same photo again, and he says, I don't really know what this thing says. It says something something something, and then like change operation to change gear or something. So like, it's please back to something, and then gear change operation or something like that. He said this word kept on showing up on the screen, and it says, when people saw my video and thought I pressed P while I was driving, no, I did not do that. When I did it because the gearing completely is ineffective. I don't dare keep driving, so I pressed P to stop on the road. Otherwise, if the car suddenly started moving, then it's even more horrifying. So pressing P to move into the park gear is the most shit, how do I translate this? The least risky method. I don't know what this is exactly saying. It's not zero, it's a slow crawling state, and it's there's lots of traffic, so everybody's crawling. And he says the other thing I dislike is the triangle thing, which is, I think that's the emergency sign, the reflector, the emergency reflector. It's like, it's so bad, it doesn't even stand up. When I put it on the road, it immediately fell down, and then it was crushed by cars, by following cars. I'm also speechless for that. They don't let me say it, but I'm not I don't know what I'm not a professional disser. I just want to tell the truth to make me feel better. It's so horrifying. It's the first time this kind of thing happened on an expressway. I think he's saying for himself. And from Beijing to Shanghai, this is the expressway with the highest amount of traffic in the country. And I couldn't sleep for the entire night because I was traumatized. When I was on the car, I don't dare going down. I'm on the second lane from the left to the right. Two entire lanes of trucks. There are two entire lanes of trucks. That's how it works in China. Basically, trucks are not supposed to move to the left. And if you have more lanes, so the left two lanes are usually small passenger vehicles, and then large passenger vehicles, and to the right you end up with two truck lanes. So he said, I want to run to the side of the road, but the trucks are not that slow. If I got hit, I'll be dead. I bought this car for the purpose of taking my entire family around, and I sold my Mercedes C200. I'm lucky I was alone. When I got home, I told my family, today I didn't die. It was lucky, and it was lucky I did not bring them. Originally, my wife was going to accompany me to do the tinting, but she didn't go. I count my lucky stars, because if then something happened, if I die, it's just myself, and my family would not be hurt. And then the last thing he said, actually, the following staff from NIO delivery and fellow, the thing that I really hate, what the fuck, they're pretty good. Service is to the point. I hate the managers and the R&D people. Like, what the fuck are they doing? This could be fatal. And the other thing is, the upper level management couldn't manage the company well. Cars should be constantly driving on the road. It should be safe. And now we have a fatal issue here. When you can't guarantee people's life, who dares driving it? Anyways, I don't dare driving on the highway, on the expressway anymore. Driving in urban areas are still okay. I could survive. And he said, "Oh, looks like you didn't ask for a refund." And he said, "I want to return the car, but would they give a refund?" And then the guy said, "Yeah, if you bought it within 60 days, or if the mileage is within 3,000 kilometers, lower whichever one first, and you changed the drivetrain twice, and you still had issues, you can get a refund." And he said, you probably can. And then he just posted his thing with the range, the mileage and everything. And he said 10 days, 642 kilometers. And he says, yesterday I saw my car, a door open, looks like it's been taken apart for research. He said, a new car has been screwed. He said, I had a Range Rover and it had similar issue once. The traffic light turned green and I was a bit aggressive. The RPM went to 6,000, and suddenly the engine stalled and everything shut down. And I tried a couple times before I was able to restart the engine, and I was shaking, and then suddenly the fuel consumption went to 20 or whatever. So, but that's something else. But anyways, that's that. You may. Whoops. Damn it. I want to stop you. Die. Okay. Anyways, it may not be very interesting to most of you, but just one more data point. I think this company is gonna end up with a lot of issues, because for an SUV, especially an SUV, when you buy it, it's usually for family, right? And it's one reason I don't want to buy an SUV. I don't want to feel like a tamed cat, a domesticated cat. But anyways, these people that buy SUVs are for their family, and they're usually fairly protective. And then you don't release a car that suddenly loses power. It, as the guy said, it could be fatal. And especially in China, when most of the trucks are overloaded, their brakes are not regularly inspected, and then there are a lot of examples where these trucks strike smaller vehicles and cause fatalities. It is a real worry. You want to be able to move out of the truck's ways when needed, and in this case, you probably die. And this is an electric vehicle, and you will catch fire because batteries, right? So at least Tesla doesn't have this kind of issues, as far as I know. And yeah, that's all I have for today. See you next time.